Welcome, Adventure. I'm your GM Goblin. So today I wanted to talk about how I play Final Fantasy XIV. Not being a tank, not any real strats, mostly hardware. And what I play on is not what the rest of you do. Most people know what this is. This is your general key layout for your game, having control and shift to allow you to hit most of your buttons. Your WASD being your movement buttons, your 1 through 4, and then your QERF, and then your ZXCV being your abilities. And then, of course, shift and control allowing you to toggle between your different hotbars. This way, you keep your hand in as comfortable a place as you can while you play. Well, I have not used a keyboard, and I actually cannot remember the last time. I believe I was playing EverQuest 2 when I switched over to one of these, and that is a Tartarus. Now, my original one was from Belkin, and this was a very long time ago. Probably over 15 years ago. And then it was bought by Razer, and it became the Razer Nostromo. And then, of course, I moved to Tartarus after I wore them out because I used them to play every single game that I've played since. The thing that I love about it is customization. It is definitely something that I do with every single game. And while it can be a hindrance at times, it is how I play this one. I have my tab key. I have a lock on button because these are the ones that I have to stretch to reach. I have space. F is just face. Probably going to change that. That is tied to my Living Dead. And then after my first row, I have 1 through 5, 6 through 0. I have this one, which is my running/mount macro. I have Z, which we know what Z does, put away your weapon. And then I've got dash and equal sign, or minus an equal sign. So that takes care of all of my hotbar that you see. But as you can tell, I have a C, so it's control. And then I have a little arrow up, so it's a shift symbol. So where does that come into play? Well, I use my little joystick here for directions. And then, of course, I have a button, and all of my options for guild and menu and everything is on it. But where do I keep my shift? And I keep it right there. Now, I know this isn't Razer. I think I got stuck into using Red Dragon years ago. It's cheaper. I've had no issue with it. But I actually use my 4 for my shift and my 5 for my control. And then, of course, I use 7 to run a slight macro, which is shift and control, since for some reason this mouse won't do it. So if you use a Razer, it probably will. But that way I control this final bar. So I can control 4 bars, and I never have to move my left hand from anything. And then, of course, I use 4 if I am using a push to talk for anything. And then 5 is enter. That's all the way back from BDO days, as well as 6, which is my auto run, which is also back from BDO days. But that is how I control. So my right hand is moving me around, and then I slide it from either down and one of my buttons if I want to click the shift. So it would just be shift 1. And the same thing goes for, I just push my thumb up because it naturally sets in between those two keys anyway. So I just roll it down to do protective spells. That shouldn't be there. And then I roll it up for control. And then those are my normal ones. But that is how I play. I've seen a lot of people post how they play with their keyboards, WASD, and a lot of people showing their layouts when it comes to how they use QERF to play. While, yes, mine is more expensive because you have to buy hardware. It is just something that I figured I would put out there since I do not see a lot of people post anywhere how they set up their Razer keyboards or their keypads. There's a lot of different kinds. I specifically go with the Tartarus because it reminds me so much of my original Nostromo, and I move with my joystick. And so, or the D-pad, whatever it is. But I move with this, and this is actually, that shouldn't be like that. It's supposed to be Alt, so that I can Alt Tab as well without having to move to the keyboard and change programs if I want to. But I used to for the longest time. And when I started this game, I would use this for shift and this for control. But they don't do anything else in this game. No sprinting or anything. So I was just using them to toggle me between. And I thought, why not use my right thumb? Because at the moment, it was just sitting there. And I don't like controlling large amounts of things on my thumb. I like having them there if I need them. And I will use them for different strategy games, Age of Empires and stuff, to like grab different groups. And I'll do that. But I will not put a whole bunch on there. Usually 1 through 6 is where I feel comfortable. I used F keys on my mouse whenever I played Guild Wars. But if you happen to use a keypad, that is a easy way to split up what you're doing. So you've got a little less motion with your single hand, and you can divide up your keys and put more underneath your hand that doesn't move. So either way, you guys enjoy. Remember, like and subscribe to both channels, GM Goblin and Goblin Plays. Check me out on Twitch. Check the links below and join our Discord, and visit me over on Patreon for macros, GM tools, and extra content you find on GM Goblin.